Hello, my name is Nico, and this is my mind map 3. I'm going to be going over the three texts from this week from Martin Heidegger, Oswald Spengler, and Hans Blumenberg. So, the central theme I chose for this week was truth, nature, and technology, because all of these three philosophers kind of talk about how different ways of perceiving truth, I guess. Um, the main connection I have in this little triangle right here, Hans Blumenberg argues that truth can be seen through metaphors, and it's it's less like, okay, well, Heidegger says that truth is already there and you just need to uncover it, like it's a set truth, right? But Blumenberg kind of says that truth is how we interpret it, which is also kind of similar to Spengler, but Uh, Blumenberg goes into how metaphors are subconsciously used to draw conclusions about things. And one example is truth is light. And you could take that as truth, uh, like show, it shows more about something, right? Um, so Oswald Spengler says that science is a cultural lens. And I take this to mean it gives a filter that people will use to view things. So one of the filters that he kind of gives is mathematization, where people will quantify things and they will use those quantities to perceive how uh, the universe works, I guess. So with science. So the fact that people use math to quantify things to help them understand shows us about how that culture perceives things. And that method is more Faustian, as he goes, because he talks about Faustian versus Apollonian. Faustian is more quantifying abstract things, and Apollonian is more just it's kind of hard to understand. I don't fully understand it, but one's more quantifying things, and one's more just understanding they exist. I guess I don't know. That's one of the things I was a little bit more confused about. Um, but related to those two concepts are destiny and causality. Causality kind of goes with Faustian in saying that for doing something, something specific will happen. Like force times acceleration gives, or force is made by acceleration times mass. So you get the mass and the acceleration, and it gives a force. Two definite things give you something, and that's just how it works. While Apollonian kind of works with this concept of destiny, where just things are meant to happen. And Spengler kind of likes this idea. He thinks that the causality way of thinking of things is too definite and doesn't give room for destiny or random things to happen. Um, so there's that. But his mathematization concept kind of goes along with the enframing concept from Heidegger, because Heidegger kind of talks about how technology makes us view the world. We just see everything as a resource, and even humans as a resource, and that goes with his standing reserve, and also I guess his challenging forth concept. But in framing is saying that technology makes us see the world as resources as well, um, and I, and to me that's kind of similar to how for mathematization we see things through the lens of math. For in framing, we see things through the lens of technology. So, one of the examples was when you see a river, you just, oh, oh, it's a river. But if you're thinking about it through technology, you're like, oh, it's a possibility for a hydroelectric dam or something. But that's how he was talking about it. So, in his point about technology revealing reality is again with reality being interpreted with the way that it is revealed. So that also goes with his, there is a specific truth, we just need to find it, and then, of course, use technology as a tool to discover that. So it kind of also goes back into Spengler. It's nice and connected at this little point. Um, and I guess one of the last little things I probably should touch on is the pre-systematic layer. That still goes with the like using the like subconsciously using metaphors to understand stuff and draw conclusions about it. So you see, and I think that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about for this. Uh, this, I mean, this was kind of complicated, but it wasn't too bad. Um, it kind of just feels like they're defining things that, well, at least Blumenberg, his points seem a little silly. Like, oh, we use metaphors to help us understand stuff. I kind of liked Heidegger's. I mean, I like. I think it's kind of wrong, but I think it's interesting at least how, because I can see how somebody would think like this. Like, oh, modern technology turns everything into just thinking about resources, which it's a very scary way to think. But I do understand it, and I think it's pretty interesting. I feel like there's a lot of good movies that could be made from that if I could like it make me want to think about making a movie like it. But yeah, interesting week this week. Thank you for listening.